So I'm starting my broadcast on Periscope too.
Hey, Gin Tonics, how you doing, Ginny? Welcome, welcome. Yes, go ahead and start yours. So this is the Beyond Awesome show. Hey, John, welcome. On Periscope, only on Periscope.
Hi, everybody, welcome.
Yeah, it's very, very exciting. This is Amy Michaels. Hold on while I kind of work this out. Hi, Keith is real. Are you real, Keith? And Jones Lady, yay! Let me get rid of some stuff. So today on the, hey Janet, welcome. Today on the Beyond Awesome show, it's hashtag Beyond Awesome. Hashtag Beyond Awesome show. This is a show to help you in the pursuit of better health, happiness, and inspiration. So we're going to chat about with Amy Michaels. We're going to chat with, hi Jones, and Jenny. We can see everybody now. So share this with your followers, please. If you're new to Periscope, swipe to the left or swipe up, depending on the device that you have. And can you see somebody said hi, Amy? Hi,
no,
Jenny.
I didn't see that. Hi, everybody.
So swipe to the left or right and invite your followers. Thank you. And we love you so incredibly mucho. Jones Lady, thank you for doing that. So let's go ahead and get started here. Amy Michaels is... Amy Michaels, we're going to chat about children with food allergies, some non-toxic options for them and for you, as well as clean living. And we'll even get to learn a little more about a place on the web where Amy shows you how to homeschool your children. It's like, where am I trying to look? I'm looking at Amy at the camera. I'm looking at you here. So I'll just come back. Oh, they don't see me. They see you.
Oh,
you know what?
I need to... Okay.
Hi, my name is Lynnie Wennerstrom, creator of CrazyAwesomeHealthyYou.com and author of the book 7 Simple Steps to a Crazy Awesome Healthy You. And this is the Beyond Awesome show that you're watching on Periscope only. Very, very exciting. And today on the Beyond Awesome show, and that is a hashtag, by the way, it's a show to help you in the pursuit of better health, happiness, and inspiration. So I'm still doing this all again because more of you have arrived. And I have Amy Michaels with me, and we're going to chat about children with food allergies, some non-toxic options for them and for you, as well as clean living. And we're even going to get to learn a little bit more about a place on the web where Amy shows you how to homeschool your children. And Amy inspires me, like she has inspired me, I cannot tell you for, I don't know, Amy, how long? Maybe 6 years or, 6 years. 6 months, 8 months, a year, something like that.
Since uh-oh, I lost you. Just a second. Where did you go?
Oh, I turned it around.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn up my volume. Just 1 second, okay?
Yeah, turn up your volume. But what I'm saying...
There we go. How's that? Is that better, guys? Thank you, Tanya. I'm getting a message on my end that says, I can't hear Lynnie.
But not
okay.
your...
And I will be still now so that I'm not shaking them and making them so dizzy over here.
Turn it off on your phone. Turn your volume down.
On my phone? Okay.
On your phone, yeah.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Thank you, guys. So I've been homeschooling my girls since they were babies. I mean, honestly, we started reading to them when they were in the womb, honestly. So, yeah, I've been homeschooling for 8 years.
But I mean, you and I've known you for probably a year maybe, or 8 months or something, or longer than that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I did not hear all the question. I was fiddling with my technology stuff. Yeah, you and I met when we were in an online group for women entrepreneurs, and so that was about a year ago. Almost a year ago.
Yeah, it's been quite a while. So I'm going to read your bio real quick so everybody knows who we're talking to. Okay. Amy Michaels, she's a mother who loved teaching elementary school. When she became a mother, she thought her teaching days were over. However, once her daughter was diagnosed with severe food allergies, she and her hubby decided to homeschool their children. Yay! When she started meeting other homeschooling families, she noticed common concerns among moms. They had the same questions about curriculum, where to start, and complete overwhelm. Does that sound familiar, anybody? She quickly realized that she could give them tools, strategies, and answers to their burning questions about homeschooling. And because of the allergies, she's learned a lot over the years. And her daughters even have a YouTube channel where they teach other children with food allergies how to eat. Is that not amazing? So,
thank you.
No, thank you. I think you are an amazing person, and we'll go over her website is thrivehomeschooling.com, and we will talk about that in the end at the end anyway. We won't leave you without that. So Amy, now you started homeschooling years ago, but how old was your first child, or were both of them born when you started homeschooling?
My oldest was born in 2006, so she's almost 9, and then I have a second daughter that was born in 2000. 9, and so she's almost 6. How about that? We're switching numbers around.
I think that's awesome that you switch them. It doesn't really matter. It's Periscope. Nothing matters. Everything matters except getting value. Yes. And so, tell us a little bit about the allergies that your kiddos had. What did they?
Okay, I will give you the very short version because I could talk for hours about this because it's so near and dear to my heart. Basically, my oldest daughter started she never slept through the night until she was 2.5. The same day I took her off of gluten and soy was the first night that she slept through the night in 2.5 years. She was always very sensitive to noise, very high maintenance, very hard to get to sleep, very light sleeper, and had horrible reflux. I mean, like, seriously, awful reflux. And the doctors did the upper GI. We did, other, traditional interventions, and nothing worked. And so finally, she broke out in hives all over her body, and I just was, desperate and going online and, bugging anybody who would listen to me to try to help my child. And somebody said, I think it's a food allergy. You need to get her off of the top 8 allergens. And as soon as I did that, like, the magic happened, like, literally overnight. And so then over time, she got a little bit better, but I knew that her diet had to be greatly changed. But then when I was pregnant with my second daughter and we started staying home, because that's what you do when you have an infant child, right, is that you don't want all the germs and you keep them in,
Exactly.
In the winter.
Yeah.
I started noticing that every time we left our home that my older daughter was sick, and she would end up with having accidents, or she'd end up extremely emotional, or she would have a rash. And so I found out just through process of trial and error that she had a residue allergy as well to gluten and chemicals. And so that really rocked my world, and I was very, overwhelmed with that. And so I tried to figure out the best way to handle that, and I found some great resources I'll share with you in a minute. But I knew right then and there I was never going to put her on a bunch of steroids to send her to school, and that I had kind of wanted to homeschool all along because I thought, if I've taught other people's kids, why am I not teaching my own?
Exactly.
And so it just solidified for me that that's what I was supposed to do.
So you say residue allergy. Is that what does that mean?
So that means that I ate a grilled chicken breast from Chick-fil-A that was supposed to be gluten-free, and I kissed her shoulder and she still broke out and had a rash.
Oh, gosh.
If you have makeup that is not certified gluten-free, it's very likely contaminated, and you hug my daughter or put your cheek against her cheek and she has a reaction.
Wow.
Yeah, we're talking an extreme situation, but I'm kind of the kind of person where I need things to be very clear. So I just think that, God just put it very crystal clear to me exactly how severe this was. So I was very forced in a way, or pushed or nudged or loving
or something
to the right direction that I was supposed to be.
So Amy, what are the top 8 allergens in food allergies?
Okay, so I'll try to remember all of them, but shellfish, nuts, wheat, dairy, eggs, corn, and soy. Is that 8? Am I missing one?
I was writing real fast. Shellfish, nuts, wheat, dairy, eggs. So gluten, and corn because it contains zane, which is gluten.
Yeah.
And I was trying to remember. I think there's dairy, eggs, and soy. You said.
Yeah. Is there one more?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, there is, but that gives people a really good place to start. And
so I'll tell you that what we did was you took all of them out of her diet for 2 weeks, every bit of them, and then we added them back in one at a time, and that's how I pinpointed exactly what her allergies were without us doing the whole blood test and saliva test and all that.
So interesting. The elimination diet, which is what you're talking about, is so beneficial for that. I think if people knew, like, first, before I say that, what are some of the symptoms? You're talking about, like, skin rashes. What were some of her symptoms of an allergy?
She would have a rash. That was a telltale sign. She also would have accidents, like wedding accidents. And the reason why is because because it was a food, it was inflaming her entire digestive tract. And so her muscles could not hold her urine or bowels in because they were inflamed. I mean, it's just like if you have a sunburn, you don't want to squeeze things, right? Because it hurts. So,
exactly.
Right. So that was an issue. She also was extremely, the other thing that she outgrew, thank goodness, a couple of years ago, but she'd have insomnia for 2 hours a night. So it was very obvious, and that only happened when we would be in contact with other things outside of our home. And so, or somebody came to visit us. And so it was very easy for us to track on the calendar.
That's really admirable. That, it's interesting how many people are literally nudged, forced, however you want to say it, into finding out what is wrong in this. And so many of us have stories like this because of that. And so the elimination diet, for anybody that's listening and is maybe thinking about it, is literally, do you want to explain? I mean, you already kind of explained it, but it is called the elimination diet. So go ahead and just give us a recap of how you did that.
Well, basically, thank you. I'll be happy to do that. We just basically took out that top 8 most common allergens just as a starting point for us, and just took them all of her diet for 2 weeks. And what I had researched, and Lynnie is the expert in this area, guys, so if you have questions, you can definitely ask her. But what it does is it allows the inflammation to calm down, and because if you eat a food, it actually stays in your system for up to 2 weeks. So by removing those foods for up to 2 weeks, it allows your body to fully cleanse those food, proteins, and stuff out of your body, and allows the inflammation to calm down. And then you add them back in one at a time, 3 days apart. And we would just do 1 serving. So my daughter, when we did the test, she had 1 slice of toast, and then when we did soy, she had like 1 serving of soy yogurt. And we did them 3 days apart, and instantly her symptoms came back. Instantly she had insomnia. Instantly she had a rash. So it was just really, really easy. And then we continued on with adding back eggs in and adding back nuts in, and she didn't have any problems with those foods at all. And so I kept a calendar of what we ate and reactions for several months, just to make sure I was double checking my scientific experiment that I was basically doing.
It's a great one.
To get confirmation again and again. And there's a lot of controversy about which food allergy tests are reliable. Should you do blood? Should you do saliva? And even doctors don't agree. Even healthcare practitioners don't agree. And so for us, that was just the quickest way for me to find out exactly there was no guesswork involved in that. I knew my child, and I just knew for sure, that would give us the answers.
So this is how you got into clean eating. And tell us how do you describe clean eating? And because it's more than that, correct?
For us, it is. And I will say that when I was pregnant with her, I lived on gluten, dairy, and sugar and Coke. That was like my favorite 4 food groups. I had horrible allergies. I had migraines, had sinus infections. I know you're not surprised, but I was a teacher. I was working 12-hour days. I had little people sucking the energy out of me all day long. I was exhausted. I had to power up on caffeine and sugar to survive. And so I'm sure my body was highly inflamed. And so when we decided to eat clean, at first we just removed gluten and dairy and soy. And that was not hard at all. But my daughter wasn't getting better. She was actually still becoming more sensitive. And talking with some functional nutritionists and functional medicine doctors, one of them said, you're eating a lot of rice. And I said, well, yeah, all the gluten-free stuff has rice protein in it. And he said, yes, but rice is an inflammatory food. It doesn't alkalize the body. It actually causes the body to be more acidic and promotes inflammation. I was like, you're kidding, rice. Like, who's allergic to rice? And it was like, your daughter. And so at that point, we went paleo because my younger daughter was actually reacting to corn and eggs. And so I was like, okay, and at the time I was a vegetarian. I was a vegetarian for 9 years, and it actually damaged my body. And I'm not anti-vegetarian at all, but for some people it's not a good fit. And for me, it actually was not a good fit. And so when I say that we eat clean, there can't be any traces of gluten. It can't be manufactured on equipment that's shared with gluten. Everything that we eat that I can get my hands on is organic.
Okay.
Everything that we can get locally, fresh, we do. But sometimes that's not cost prohibitive, prohibited and so effective, I guess I should say. So we do the best we can in that area. But also, we don't do any preservatives. We don't do any food dyes. If there's something on the label I can't pronounce, I'm not buying it. And so I have a very high standard.
So basically, you're talking whole foods, real foods, veggies, you're eating grass-fed meats, and you're not eating eggs, or some of you are not eating eggs. And if you were, they would be pasture-raised, correct?
Exactly. And my daughters have healed a lot of their food allergies, by the way, and I can tell you about that later.
Yeah, no, let's go ahead and let's go into that. I mean, we're talking about food allergies. It's a great seg into that.
Yeah, well, the thing that I found out is that their guts were leaky because of all the inflammation, and when you have a lot of carbs in your body, the bad bugs in your gut just love that, and they thrive, and they get a foothold into your gut health and take over. And again, Lynnie's the expert, so you guys can...
Wait, Amy, I'm not an expert. I'm a common sense health expert. I know a lot. I know a little about a lot of stuff, but I'm not an expert. I just wanted to get that in there because it's the second time you've said that.
Well, I feel like you're an expert. I guess we all are experts in our own little areas, but
exactly.
But yeah, so we have had to work a really long time to clean up their guts. And what we did was I have a really great resource here, a nutritionist that just has a fabulous chemistry understanding of the body. And he said that we needed to eat on a rotation diet. So what that means is basically you eat all you want of, say, blueberries today, and then you skip 2 days. And then you can add it back in. And what that does is if the food proteins cross the blood barrier from your gut, because you have holes in your gut,
yes, it
allows that to fully leave the bloodstream so that you're not staying in a constant inflammatory state. And so what happened was my daughter, when we had blueberries, we had a bumper crop one year, and we were eating blueberries like by the double handfuls, like all July and August. And then guess what? Every time she ate them, she would have a horrible skin rash.
Wow.
And so I was like, why is that? And the nutritionist said it's because the body knows that should not be in the blood in that form, that, you have a leaky gut. And so by eating on a rotation diet, we actually have been able to recover all of our allergies except for the gluten.
That is amazing because you healed the gut. And interesting, the gut is only 1 cell thick, right? And our skin is 7 layers thick. I should say 1 layer, and the gut is 1, and our skin is 7. So it's so strong and so resilient, but yet it's so fragile. And so you have something like a sticky protein like gluten hitting it over and over and over. And exactly what Amy is saying is it's just fascinating how quickly it can. It'll permeate and make a hole in it, and people think that they don't have. Oh, I don't have a sensitivity to gluten. I don't. It doesn't bother me. But there could be other places in your life where you're, or in your health where you're experiencing. It could be maybe you just don't feel good. You have indigestion, or you have. Maybe you have some strange rash that you just can't get rid of, and it's like, well, where did that come from? I mean, it's just there's so many other ways besides just indigestion is a big one, but it can come out in other ways. I guess I'm saying besides digestive issues. So
absolutely, my daughter is actually a non-celiac gluten intolerant. So because we caught her so early. There's no evidence that she has celiac, which is actually, to be celiac, you actually have to go in and have a biopsy and look to make sure that the little villi in your small intestine are damaged, which we haven't done. But she's never had gastrointestinal distress with this gluten. It's all been skin.
And I understand that is a very expensive test, and it's also a painful test.
I'm putting my baby through that.
Yeah, I don't know, but I heard that on one of my health summits.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, I'll say that I was a vegetarian and loved my gluten. I mean, was addicted. It's actually an addictive food. It releases great endorphins in your brain to make you feel happy, and that's why we don't take away our bread, don't take away our cake. But my daughter, she's 2, and she was like, "Mommy, are you going to eat that? I want some." And so then I felt awful eating in front of her. She couldn't have. So then I went gluten-free because I wanted to honor, her issue and not have her, feel isolated. And wouldn't you know, suddenly all my seasonal allergies are gone, my migraine's gone. And so it was, again, I was forced very unwillingly to give up my favorite foods. But you know what? That was 6 years ago, and I don't even miss them now. I don't want them now. I really, really don't. Oh, sorry, my alarm is telling me something. Sorry about that.
It wants you to dance.
Apparently.
That was great. That was great music. But look at your skin, Amy. I mean, seriously, look at your skin. It's interesting when I I mean, I don't eat meat, but it's something that I'm, with bone broth and other things that I think are very important for your gut health. It's something I'm working on because that's just a mindset thing for me. But when you incorporate all these things, I mean, it changes. Just going to just eating whole foods for my skin and everything. It changed it, and it reversed so many damaged pieces of me on the outside. And it definitely damaged my gut. Damaged. Well, I had gut health. I also had leaky gut as well, and I was able to clean that up. And it just changes. I mean, your energy levels just boom with that. They just change.
Exactly. I mean, it was not something that I was seeking to do, but I'm so grateful. It was a complete blessing. It was a complete blessing that, and even my daughter, she says, I don't enjoy having food allergies, but think of all the people in our family that I'm going to, motivate to be healthy because they probably have a gluten allergy too. Because we actually did some genetic testing, and my husband and I and both of my children, we all have one of the genetic markers for gluten sensitivity, which means that at least one of the grandparents on each side has that marker because my husband and I had to get it from one of them. So we are trying to encourage the rest of our extended family to eat healthy and to, do that test. We did the test through 23andMe, and you don't need a doctor's order to do that. It's helpful to have a doctor help you interpret it, though, because it is quite extensive. But you do the 23andMe genetic test. It's like $99 a person. And then you upload it to livewello.com.
What is it? LiveWello?
Livewello.com, and then they will interpret for you some of the it's a very extensive test, but our doctor will help us understand it further.
So speaking of your doctor, it took me 2 years to find a doctor, and a functional medicine doctor who understood the whole body. How did you find your doctor?
That was just a wonderful random blessing. I was in Whole Foods, and I had my cart full of gluten-free stuff. And this woman turned around and looked at me, and she goes, I used to buy that stuff. And I said, yeah. I said, is your family gluten-free? And she said, she goes, yes. She said, my son is autistic. And I said, okay. And she goes, is your daughter on the spectrum? And I said, no. And I said, but she does have some sensory, like she's real sensitive to sound and, things like that, which is kind of on the spectrum, but we haven't had official diagnosis at that point. And she said, call this guy. And she whips out his business card and she said, he changed my life.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, thank you, nice lady, and I put it in my wallet. I didn't really think that much of it because, some random woman, right? And
right.
Sure enough, I started researching and kind of kept coming back in the back of my mind, check this guy out. And so I called to make an appointment. It took me 7 months to get in to see him.
Exactly.
Because he's so awesome. And then it's been a very slow process, but 3 years down the road, we're finally getting to a point where she can touch things without having a reaction. So he's actually a neurologist, but then there are some really good functional medicine doctors in the area where I live in Texas that are, with it, and they understand about, inflammation and alkalizing the body with our diet and the importance of moving and getting good oxygen and water, clean water in our body.
That's great.
Yes. And so, we've been getting an education all along. But the other thing is that we have, there's also some pharmacies in our area that are really catering more to a holistic health, and they do a lot of homeopathic stuff.
Thanks, Janet. Janet just said that Periscope crashed. I was wondering, the numbers went down real fast. She said Periscope crashed. I don't know. But more people are coming back on now, so I'm not sure what happened. But they'll be able to catch the replay. So
sure, not a problem. Not a problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we just, honestly, it's just been a journey, and we've just been very blessed that it's just, things have kind of just been handed to us all along the way as we've been ready.
And okay, so let's just go a little bit into homeschooling. Here's one of the reasons why Amy just really inspires me. And she dug really deep, in my opinion, to create, this is how we met online in the trying to build an online course. But she wanted to create a new place for parents who want to homeschool their children and need to know how. And she never stopped. She kept throwing stuff out for all of us. Like, how does this sound? How does that? She was trying to get the attention make sure that she got the right people who really wanted to homeschool their children and wanted to learn how to do it. And she didn't stop. She wanted you to be able to, whoever's interested in learning how to homeschool their children, how to do it right, how to have the curriculum and to do it right and to feel comfortable, have a safe place where they can express themselves and ask questions and all of that. So she did that. And so to me, that's extremely inspiring, and that's why I wanted her to have her on the show. But in that, do you not include also, do you include, besides homeschooling, the how to eat? Like maybe some, do you include anything in there? Like any kind of clean eating?
I have not, actually, because two reasons. One, my academy is just for the parents on teaching them like how to connect with their child and how to present lessons so that their child remembers and relates, and how to really make best use of our time and money and energy, because those are limited resources that we all have.
Oh gosh, yes.
But my daughters actually are very passionate about inspiring other kids to eat clean, and they bugged me for over a year to start their own YouTube channel. It's called O&J in the Morning, and
I love that.
It's Olivia and Jocelyn, and so they want to teach kids how they can cook without food dyes and how they can cook without eating a bunch of junk, and definitely gluten-free. Almost everything we do is paleo. Occasionally we do cheat on paleo. Occasionally we'll have something with sugar, but it is very rare. Like, at Christmas, or Valentine's Day, we might have a treat, with real sugar. But we really are sugar-free. We use natural sweeteners like honey, preferably. Occasionally maple syrup is our two sweeteners. But we don't have them as much as, we would like, because we're making a conscious choice to eat healthier. But my girls are taken on to teach kids. And so they've recorded, my daughter was just saying before we started broadcasting that we have 7 episodes that are recorded that mommy needs to put up on YouTube. But they have taught us how to make paleo nachos. They've taught us, how to make little heart treats for Valentine's Day. That we've made salsa. We have made. I did a little video about what Brussels sprouts look like when they grow on the stalk.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, and they come up with all the recipes that we make that they want to film, and so they're hilarious, and they're typical sisters in the kitchen. So it's very funny to watch them. But it's their project, so they're actually taking on Lynnie to educate kids. I would really like to eventually invite you to come and do a course for us in our academy to teach parents, because getting good sleep and good hydration and good food is actually more important than than the curriculum. Because if our bodies aren't ready if they're not feeling well, they're not going to be ready to receive new information, because learning is hard. You actually put yourself in a risk situation every time you learn something new. And so if you're, when we would see kids come to school hungry, when I taught school, they didn't give a flip about their multiplication tables. They were hungry. They hadn't eaten in 15 hours. Yeah. Food is very important. And when we fuel up on breakfast cereals that have food dyes and a ton of sugar and wheat in them or gluten in them, our bodies are on overdrive, and it really affects our brains to be able to concentrate. So I think it's a really great concept to add that to the academy. Yeah.
Oh, I would love to do that. Yes, I would be happy to do that. What is, and be honored as well, what is their YouTube channel?
It's O&J in the Morning.
Oh, you already said that. O&J in the Morning. So I'm just trying to write it down so I can put it up on when I post this video up there. O&J in the Morning.
And I did spell out and, so it's actually, I did spell out O&J. I didn't do the ampersand.
Okay. O&J in the Morning. Perfect. And that's YouTube. And Amy, where can people reach you if they want to find out more about your homeschooling curriculum and where can they find out more about you?
Well, thank you. I'm pretty much trying to be everywhere, I think.
Yes, you are.
Makes it very easy to be found, right?
Yes.
So my website is thrivehomeschooling.com, and I actually have a free class called 3 Secrets to Teaching Your Child Anything, but it actually works for anybody. So anybody who teaches, even if it's adults or kids, you can sign up for that free class and learn the secrets to really being an effective teacher. And that's just my gift that I want every single parent to really access, because it's important that parents know that there are some really key things that makes learning more enjoyable and more fun and last. And so it's just my mission that all homeschool families have that support, as well as other supports that I put out. I have a podcast on Blog Talk Radio called Thrive Homeschooling Podcast. I'm on Instagram as Thrive Homeschooling, or Thrive Homeschool, I think is my handle there. And I have a Facebook group to support those who are homeschooling or thinking about it. I'm on Twitter as Teaching with Amy, and I'm on Periscope as Teaching with Amy. So I'm telling you, like, if you want to find me, I'm there. But I will say that I try to keep a limit on my social media time. I'm not on there all day, every day, because I'm a mom first, and I'm a homeschooler and a wife, and we prioritize our family time over screens a lot during the day.
So what would you like to leave the listeners and the replay people? What would you like to leave them? What message?
Oh, basically, my wish for everyone, whether you're watching live or on the replay, or if you want to share this with your followers, is just to really take the time to think about what's important to you. And whatever that is, find ways to make that happen, whether it's your health, whether it is your sleep, whether it is teaching your child, creating more joy in your family. All of those things are just things that are priceless and that we can't go back and do over. So it's really important to make those a priority in your day. And if I can support you in that journey, I would love to connect with you. So just let me know via all of those different social outlets that I just said. So I'm really honored to have been to connect with Lynnie, because she's just so, you guys know, we all love Lynnie. She needs some hearts. So if you haven't given her hearts, give that girl some hearts, because she's so sincere.
Janet's giving us hearts.
She is just so sincere in wanting everybody to truly be healthy. She has an amazing story too, and I am almost finished with her class that she has, and it is so refreshing and manageable and easy to integrate some powerful things into her, with her, that she's learned to do, that she's sharing. And I think that's what we're all about, Lynnie, is just making sure that we share with others so that they can have the best life that they want to have. And so that's just really important.
Exactly. Well, thank you, Amy. I appreciate it. You have been, let me turn this around. Hang on for me for just, and let me see if I can turn this around. I turned it around. Yay! I'm Lynnie Wennerstrom, creator of CrazyAwesomeHealthyYou.com, and this is the hashtag Beyond Awesome Show, only on Periscope, only for you. And we just talked with Amy Michaels, who we just talked with her about food allergies and clean eating and some non-toxic options for children and for basically for life, for everybody. If you're human and you have organs, it works for everybody. And you can reach Amy at thrivehomeschooling.com is her website, thrivehomeschooling.com, and she's also teaching with Amy on Periscope. So thank you all very much for joining us. We appreciate it. And on Monday we're going to have who do I have scheduled on Monday? I have my buddy. Well, I'll announce that later because it's pretty exciting. So anyway, we will be talking about leptin and the hormone leptin and how it affects people trying to lose weight. So that's what we're going to be doing on Monday. So thank you all for joining, and we will chat with you later. Ciao.